What's shaking, YouTubenites and longboxers? Welcome to Lords of the Longbox presents the CovrPrice Comic Book Shakers of the Week, aka around the world known as the Offer List. And this week is pretty tough too, but there's some interesting books on there. But you know what? I have faith in my fellow longboxers and YouTubenites that you guys can knock these out. And because today is Friday or Thursday, that means tomorrow is Friday. So why don't we bust some, you know what you guys need? You guys need some freestyle music for Freestyle Friday. So let's do it.
I can be the same. I can be the unfaithful. I can be the same. I can be the unfaithful. I can be the same. I can be the unfaithful.
The baddest on the microphone apparatus is here. When I rock a rhyme, often eyes are dropping a tear. It's so beautiful, it's America's landscapes when this man makes lyrics like the syrups that you pour upon your pancakes. My mandate is to grip minds like a handshake. Spit Orlando Lakes and go skinny dip with the fan base. Over any damn breakbeat, I hastily make pastries tastier than anything that Wolfgang makes. So take notes out of suckers, I make coats, lump of some like Bubba Gump, fishing on lake boats. I take jokes and turn the comedy into drama. I'm bagging on your mama, I'm Jeffrey Dahmer behind ya. I'm a rhyme writer, lock stock, smoking the ganja. Rebuttals befuddle, leaving a puddle of saliva, sillies. You couldn't handle Randall when I throw my grammar at you. It hit your head and you would think I threw a hammer at you. I point the camera at you like Herb Ritz. Develop it, then use the pictures to pick up bird shits. You're nervous as the impervious wordsmiths hanging out in Rafa's new crib come with the verses.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's Thursday, so we got to do freestyle music as well as freestyle bars from our man, Jimmy Woo. Say what's good to the people, JB.
Hey, everybody. It's Thursday, and welcome to the Shaker Show. This is a crazy list tonight. There's so much amazing information in tonight's list. I can't wait to share it with you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And if you're enjoying it, make sure you hit that thumbs up.
Better words have never been uttered. Gabe, what's up? Say what's up to the people.
Yo, what up, everybody? It's Thursday. It's that time for that Shakers list. Don't get hurt if you get yourself a goose egg, because this is going to be a tough one. There's some cool stuff on here.
It's a hot list, just like it's hot in Southern California, man. It was like 90 degrees in some parts of Southern California today. Absolutely disgusting. Well, you guys are freezing. I'm like turning on my AC, but I'm not complaining. I could be shoveling snow. This show is brought to our friends by over at CovrPrice.com with price guides, collections, and trends. Also, our friends over at Key Collectibles for all your CGC facilitating needs. They press and clean books and can submit to CGC. Just tell them you heard it from the Lords, and they will hook you up. Some people were asking if they clean. Yes, they do. They clean and press my books, so I highly recommend them. Shows, of course, are sponsored by our friends over at KRSComics.com. Go to KRSComics.com. Use the discount code of LOTOB to get 10% off variants, including... Boom! This one, which I do believe is a homage to X-Men 268, or am I 283? One of those numbers, right?
260, yeah.
260, right. Yeah. So this is obviously the homage with the Captain America, Black Widow, and Wolverine. This is Mike and Mayhew variant. Goes on sale Friday at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. So make sure you set your alarms. This bad boy almost sold out immediately. This bad boy got a lot of traction too. Also, peep out our friends over at the CovrPrice Top 10. They have a top 10 list of new books. We never ever do this of books that are being sold this week. So if just a quick look to see if you sign up to the KRS website or their Facebook or their mailing list, they send you out the top 10 books that have been sold on their site. Now, this isn't everywhere, but it gives you a good indicator of what the market is doing. So number one is Batman Superman World's Finest, the art journal variant. Number 2 is Catwoman 39, the second print. Soko Micah variant. Venom Lethal Protectors, the Bill Sienkiewicz variant. ASM 83, the Art Adams variant. Spider-Woman 21, the Nakayama Carnage Forever variant. The Moon Knight White White Blood variant. It's probably my favorite of the week. Venom number 7, the Pete Woods Spider-Man variant. Also, one of my favorites, the Strange number 1, J. Scott Campbell variant. I can't wait for that one to come up. I've already pre-ordered my books. New Mutants number 25, the Dan Panosian variant, which features not Queen Goblin, but the Goblin Queen. And this was an interesting book that made the top 10 books most sold on KRS Comics. Is the Cimmerian Hour of the Dragon, which is a obviously... from Conan mythos. Yeah, but that's interesting that book made the list. But there you go, man. That's the top 10 selling books on KRS Comics. All right, good night, everybody. Keep digging them long boxes. Just kidding. This, of course, is the CovrPrice Shakers of the Week. This list comes from our friends at CovrPrice, focusing on new sales or the most interesting sales found on the exclusive daily Shakers list. This list changes several times every day, so make sure you check out every day to review some of the hottest trending books on the market. And so this is like big dollar books that that either are really interesting or really expensive, and so we like to go on there, aka the offer list. And who wants to start giving people goose eggs? Gabe, you want to give them the first goose egg?
Yeah, let's go ahead and throw this goose egg out to everybody. All right, so shaker number 1, we're looking at Albedo number 2 from Thoughts and Images back in 1983. This is the Bronze Age key and first appearance of the awesome Usagi Yojimbo. And this is showing no signs of slowing down. It's just one of those books that die-hard collectors need to have in their collection. This week, a CGC 6.5 sold for a massive $6,000.
Damn.
Whoa.
That is crazy town. That obliterates the last 6.5 sale that was a measly $750 back in 2017. Not only is this new high in that gray, but this 6K hit higher than a 9.0, which last sold in 2020 for $5,500. Usually we're impressed when graded copies outsell a grade above, but it's outselling 5 grades above, which is crazy and impressive.
All this is, I'm assuming, because of the Albedo, the Usagi Yojimbo animated series that's supposed to be coming eventually. I do believe they showed like a quick teaser trailer for it or something along those lines, and I think it's coming to Netflix. So, I mean, Usagi Yojimbo has always kind of had a cult following all the way back in the day in I would like. You think indie comics are like a big thing now, but in the 80s, they really started making headway. Like you think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Tick, Albedo, all these kind of independent, and then, the big two, and the Image gobbled up a lot of them. The Valiant came along, but, there was still the 80s was a lot. It was music and comics follow each other, right? The 80s was the rise of like hip hop and alternative music when you're thinking about, The Cure, Depeche Mode, and all that stuff. So all this alternative stuff. So Albedo number 2 from Thoughts and Images, January 1st, 1983. sold for $6,000 on February 7th. Wow. All right. Speaking of weird books, what do we got next, JB?
Oh man, this is really out there. Next up, we've got Critter, issue number 2, the New York Comic Con Spider-Man issue number 1 homage, limited to only 100 copies, originally published in 2011 from Big Dog Inc. Now, founded in 2009, Big Dog Inc. produced some notable and low print books, many featuring some of the earliest works of today's hottest artists, like Natalie Sanders on Ursa Minor, Shannon Mayer on Charizard and Ursa Minor, and some tough to find J. Scott Campbell covers. Now, Critter, one of their flagship titles, has also featured some great covers. TiVo, we're hearing music. You're playing music in the background? All right. Critter, one of their flagship titles, has also featured some great covers. But it was this sale this week that was fun to see. While its sale of $260 for a 9.8 marks a new high for the title, it's actually a pretty great deal. Due to its obscurity, it easily flies under the radar. But what many don't realize is that it's one of the rarest Spider-Man issue 1 homage covers out there. Limited to only 100 copies, this 3D homage by artist Rob Dunas was created for the 2011 New York Comic Con. Now, there's a huge number of Spider-Man homage collectors out there who may not even know this one exists, but they do now. With only 4 copies on the CGC census, 2 of which are at 9.8, this book's all-new high sale of $260 was a great deal. Note that there's also a non-3D cover that is limited to only 250 copies, which is also very hard to find. Man.
This is dangerously going into kind of creepy furry territory. I don't know what the hell that is. It's a critter.
You nailed it exactly. That's what that book is. It's creepy furry stuff.
It's creepy furries? Is that
it's
what
like,
that is?
It's like Zenoscope before Zenoscope.
Oh yeah, Zenoscope is known for their really sexy. You don't like the background music?
No, I do. I was just surprised by it. That was awesome.
Well,
yeah,
it's part of StreamYard
cool.
now. It's either acoustic, dance pop, or into space, or I figure rock is the best. I mean, they don't have a cool hip hop beat yet, so I was like, it's or you can do into space, and then it'll just lull people to sleep. But I figure, we'll play some like, it's kind of like ESPN doing highlights, and they have like the generic rock music playing in the background. All right, so number 2 on the list is the NYCC Spider-Man number 1 3D homage of Critter. Number 2, there's got to be. This is one of the most homaged covers ever, right? I meant
He's doing another one.
Yeah, McFarlane.
McFarlane's the next. I think it's Spawn 323. It's another Spider-Man 1 homage, but with Haunt.
Yeah, there was one that just came out last week or the week before that was the all black one. I'm trying to remember, and it was also an homage, more so an homage of 301, because you know how 301 has a circle in the middle. And there was a black one, and Venom always did it, but there was one I'm trying to remember in the live chat that just came out like last week. There you go. Maybe it was Spawn 327, but you'd be amazed at what Spawn Books does. Wait till later on in this list. So Critter number 2 comes in at us, not really in order, but we're just going. This is by alphabetical, so the prices. There's no real. They're not going by prices. So what do we got up next?
All right, number 3 on here, going along with the rock music, is this awesome Deadpool number 11 Hastings exclusive 8-bit variant back in 2013. For some reason, several copies of this Deadpool 8-bit Mario Brothers Hastings variant were purchased this week. A raw copy hit a high of $150, with a 9.8 selling for an all-time high of $500 for a 9.6. Granted, another 9.6 sold a few days later for $225. What's the deal? Or did the 500 buyers simply jump in too fast? Regardless, almost all copies but one high-priced Stan Lee signed copy and a bulk sale were purchased, leaving the market high and dry for copies. With such a boom in the video game collector market for games and games-based comics, this has been headed upward for a while. There are a bunch of these 8-bit covers out there. Deadpool has a Taco Time 8-bit variant for issue 27 as well. Valiant did a bunch in 2013 across their titles, and that super rare, pricey DuckTales number 1 homage that we had on here earlier which was the first to start the trend. However, nothing is more classic or hotter than good old Mario Brothers when it comes down to it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. I remember in 2013, I was in the thick of collecting, and Hastings variants and GameStop variants were all the rage. Do you remember the GameStop variants that you were coming? Because they were just an oddity that GameStop would carry comic book variants, but this is way before people were digging in Walmart for these collector packs. That I don't even know if Hastings is around. Is anybody? Are they even still around?
They went deep under. Not long after this, like probably a couple of years. They went under.
Yeah.
And they owed like Diamond a ton of money.
Yeah, because I know GameStop doesn't do them anymore. Although people, been specking the shit out of GameStop stock. Why not GameStop stock? Why good time for them to do a variant cover now, right? Because it really boosts their sales. If you're not familiar with what the market manipulation on GameStop and AMC stock is, it's very interesting how there's an actual documentary that just came out about the guys who started that trend with GameStop. I want to see it. They showed it at They showed it at AMC theaters for like one day, so I'm pretty sure it'll show up on demand or Netflix somewhere. How a small group of investors really pumped up the price of GameStop stock, and then it proliferated to other places. Do you remember, AMC stock? They felt it was undervalued. So basically, they were making hedge funds lose money in the same time making money. So power to the people, I say. So
people.
Deadpool number 11, the Hastings exclusive 8-bit variant. From 2013, $150 for a raw dog. All right. Next up is more of a classic comic that maybe some of you have.
Yeah, maybe some of the people have this one out there. Next up, we've got Fantastic Four issue number 13, originally published in 1963 from Marvel Comics, and this book just sold for $8,000 in a CGC graded 8.5. Now that's more than double the book's previous high sale, in an 8.5 from December of 2019. Now, this issue is the first appearance of the Watcher, who you'll recognize from the Disney Plus's What If. The Watcher is next seen coming to observe the destruction of Earth as Galactus approaches to devour us and the entire planet. In Fantastic Four 48, by the way. Now, these early Fantastic Four issues depicted serious and real-world concepts, but wrapped them up in superhero melodrama with intoxicating escapism. These issues were what made college kids begin to obsess over comics. They led to Marvel subtitling their books Pop Art Productions. Like the work of Andy Warhol and Lichtenstein, comics had become daringly topical pop art, and people loved it. The Fantastic Four is when comics began to grow up. So yeah, the Watcher first appears here, so does the Red Ghost and his very charming super apes, Miklo, Igor, and Peter. Any issue from this era is more than worth a new record high sales price, and we'll see more and more of that as Marvel and Disney's Fantastic Four films approaches. This issue also just happens to be super cool. Nice.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm glad to see more Silver Age Fantastic Four getting a boost. It's a gold mine out there, everybody. People are really sleeping on these Silver Age Fantastic Four books.
Yeah, I've thought this book was undervalued for a long. I bought it a long time ago. From our friends at Anastasia Collectibles, I didn't buy it from them, but I bought it, and then Anastasia Collectibles did a signing for me. And we all know how that went, so I ended up selling it just because I didn't want the stench of Anastasia Collectibles anymore on my books. And so, I had what's funny is the guy who sold it to me at a yard. It was like an outdoor, Tustin used to have like this monthly kind of parking lot swap meet, and he had like a box of comics, and he wasn't aware that this was the first appearance of the Watcher. So I snatched it up. I think I had like a 5.0 or something like that, and then end up getting a red label from CBCS for signature verification. So but it's I think the book is only going to go up higher, man. I think the Watcher was awesome in the What If series, and it's bound to be he's going to be coming into the MCU. I hope it's voiced by the same actor too, because I think he really added a gravitas to the character when he did it. All right, so we go from Fantastic Four number 13 to a big offer.
All right, so we got Raw number 2 here from Raw Books 1980. Mouse was recently in the press thanks to its ban from Tennessee's school board. However, this attention lifted the first printing of Mouse to all new highs, even landing on our top 10. With such a topical book, what better time to highlight its true first appearance, which began in this magazine. Raw, edited and published by Art Spiegelman and Francois Moy, was a more highbrow independent comic anthology that provided an alternative to underground comics from weird creators like Robert Crumb. This specific issue, which is issue number 2, is most notable for containing the first chapter of The Profound Mouse, written by Art Spiegelman. Spiegelman interviewed his father and translated his tale of survivor and horror as a Polish Jew Holocaust survivor in a critically acclaimed comic that later collected into a graphic novel. It was the first graphic novel to ever win a Pulitzer Prize. With such importance and relevance, Raw number 2 may just be one of the most important first to own. This week's Raw sale of $570 marks a new high for the issue and still seems very undervalued.
Yeah, I've never heard of this, but yeah, that's all. Want to cancel something, people are going to go out and buy it. I mean, Mouse is, obviously, there's some reasons that they said they wanted to pull it because of nudity, but it wasn't even nudity in a sexual manner. So, what's cool is bookstores or libraries in the Tennessee area were going on social media saying, hey kids, if you guys can't get it, we'll give it to you for free. So if somebody wants to if you're a bookstore to have Raw number 2 and you want to give it to me for free, I'll be more than happy to take it.
Yeah, I'll take that junky old magazine off of your hands.
Yeah, you guys don't need that, but we're halfway through the show, boys and girls, so let's hear from our sponsor, My Slabs. Are you tired of paying 10-15%? Join the 1% Revolutionis.
Tired of paying 10%, 15%, or more to sell your cards, comics, and digital collectibles? How does 1% sound? Too good to be true? Well, not anymore. MySlabs.com is the web's premier user-driven marketplace for buying and selling slabbed cards, sealed wax, and now slabbed comics and digital collectibles. So the next time you're forced to pay 10% or more to sell something from your collection, head over to MySlabs.com and join the 1% revolution.
Yep. I'm going to be, as soon as my next CGC submission comes back, I'm going to be putting my stuff up on there. Ooh, see, I changed up the music now. We're going a little pop music since we're halfway there.
Ooh,
so we go from Raw number 2 from 1980 to what do we got next?
Man, this one's really cool.
Okay, first, let me preface this by saying, don't judge a cover by the book. It's I'll let you read it now.
Yeah, this one is really cool when you figure out why you're buying this book. Robotech 2, The Sentinels Book 2, issue number 13, originally published in 1992 from Malibu Comics. Just when you buy a first appearance, all of a sudden someone finds your favorite character in a preview image within another book. Now, once you chase that down, an even earlier appearance pops up, once again forcing the collector to chase that down as well. This is pretty common these days. It's also one of the more contentious and debated issues amongst collectors. This was especially the case around Marvel Previews 95 and that first, the air quotes there, appearance of Miles Morales. Spawn is one of these characters where the first appearance debate was constantly challenged. First, it was Malibu Sun, issue 13 in May of 1992 with a full cover, full back cover, and internal feature. And it still holds the honor of first cover appearance. Then it was Rust, number 1, beating it by 1 month in April of 1992 with an internal Todd McFarlane pinup of Spawn. Then some magazines and catalogs jumped into the foray, and even a little ash can of Spawn the Crusade fighting for the true first position. Spawn the Crusade is very complicated with a January 1992 published date, but it wasn't released until September of 92. Now, adding to the foray is this issue, Robotech 13, which officially is tied with the obscure Torg number 2 for the first published image of Spawn. Both comics, published in March of 1992, included the Spawn advertisement. This headache-inducing chase might be tough to follow, but it sure does bring out fans willing to spend their hard-earned cash on these books. This issue of Robotech sold for a new high sale of $400 for a CGC 9.4 just for the one Spawn preview, and it will most likely only increase with exposure like this.
Just a splash page advert and boom. I never knew this book had that, but what's interesting is I do know, like, if there's a true first appearance of Superman was actually not in Detective Comics. If you want to look, there was an advertisement, and I forgot which title it was. It may have been multiple titles, and it had a little advert that showed Action Comics #1. It's a lot cheaper than Action Comics #1, relatively speaking, but go look it up. And I think they did the same thing with Tech 27 as well for the first appearance of Batman, where it showed up like a month before as an advertisement. But Action Comics, it wasn't even an Action Comics title that had it. It was some other comic that DC had that said, "Hey, coming next month, look for Action Comics #1 with a brand new character." So it's just Spawn is just it just continues to baffle the market. I mean, it's just people are diehards. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy.
Michael Baker says Spawn fans are on another level, and they're going to chase this down now that they know that this is out there. Watch, follow this book in the next 60 days and see what happens to it.
Yeah. All right. So Robotech 2, the Sentinels Book 2, issue number 13, the first splash page advertisement of Spawn. It even says coming in May 1992 from Image Comics and Malibu Comics, which is pretty interesting when you think about Malibu Comics, right? Because we all think of Spawn as synonymous with Image Comics. All right, so let's jump from an 0 to quite possibly a 1 for. I think there's a chance for a lot of people to get on the board.
Yeah.
What do we got up next?
All right, good luck, everybody, because coming up, we got Star Wars Thrawn #1, the Marcus Martina 1 in 50 variant, or Francisco Martina, excuse me, 2018. With such high attention to Star Wars comics right now, fans don't want to be caught surprised again by a popular character's sudden live-action appearance. Book of Boba Fett proved that. The Star Wars production crew is very good at keeping quiet, unlike Marvel's tendencies for leaks. While this does have a first appearance of Eli Vantone, the draw is this Matina 1 in 50 variant for Thrawn's first ongoing series. This cover is now a modern-day grail, and it's very tough to find. Hence, its new all-time high sale this week, $3,200 for a CGC 9.8.
I think that's jumped the ship. I think that's jumped the shark on Heir to the Empire #1, which is the first appearance of Thrawn. I mean, obviously this is the first cover appearance. It's also 1 in 50. And where the hell has Francisco Martina been? Geez, I don't remember when we really. I mean, him and Delato kind of fallen to the wayside. There's Art Germ and all these other variant artists out there. The Mayhews, the Tyler Kirkhams. Martina, I'm trying to remember when's the last time somebody said I need to get that Martina variant that just came out. Somebody in the live chat tell me what's the last hot Martina variant that came out. I'm trying to think, and I'm trying to.
Wasn't he recently, like, people came out saying that he was tracing and copying everybody else's work? Was that Martina?
It was Greg Land. I know Greg Land.
Yeah, Greg Land copies himself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's obvious. Greg Land does. But yeah, there was either Delato or Martina. One of them got into trouble. But it's kind of like, come on. Everybody uses some type of, reference for something, right? Most recently, it was a DC book where they said it was a Marvel artist came out and said it. So it's all relative. Nobody can just draw out of just nothing. You know what I'm saying? If there's not if like Thrawn, you can draw because the character already existed. But if somebody, you got to draw, either be it, somebody famous or something along those lines, a relative or something. If you look at House of Secrets 92, remember that's the cover of Louise Simonson is on the cover. She was who they used for House of Secrets 92, if you think about that cover. So that's pretty interesting. So Star Wars, Thrawn #1, the Francesco Martina 1 in 50 variant. As soon as Ahsoka Tano said Thrawn in the Mandalorian, that book just went nuts. I have also heard that he's also been cast for the next season of Sokotano or something. Something Mikkelsen, not Mads Mikkelsen. One of the guys. Somebody, our friends over at smallscreen.co had dropped an article saying that he was cast for Grand Admiral Thrawn. So we shall see. But Star Wars continues surprises, man. Who would have thunk when it came on Disney Plus that it would affect the aftermarket so well? I mean, because remember when Clone Wars came out, it didn't really push the needle at all, and that was what late 2010 or late 2000s, mid 2000s when Clone Wars first came out. But now 2022, forget about it. If it's that's why that the Mando Grogu cover that just came out this week sold out at my LCS within an hour. It sold out. So, anytime you see first appearances coming out from Star Wars into the comics, anytime a character that's not originally from a comics makes a debut in the comics, just look out for it because that's the way the market is trending right now. So the Matina or the Grogu Mandalorian cover with the gold one. And then I think, Gabe, you said there's going to be a second print silver one already, right?
Yeah, so second print silver, they call it the Beskar cover, is up for pre-order. I've seen it like on eBay and stuff.
Oh,
like that.
shit. That's all you had to say. Beskar cover? Hey, if you call it a Beskar cover, I got to have it then.
That's right. There's a lot. Dude, there's a lot of gold in these Star Wars comics too. There's a lot of hidden first appearances. I am completely ignorant on Star Wars books, but there's always something popping up where it's like this character, that character. It's nuts.
Follow my man Nemesis Prime, man. He has been specking Star Wars books like crazy, so he hit the jackpot when Cad Bane showed up. So don't know if spoilers alert for a book.
Yeah, I hope
Fett,
he was quick.
Well, keep an eye on the trend of that book. Yeah,
I don't think he's gone. Spoiler alerts for Book of Boba Fett if you haven't seen it, but because let's just say there's a little blinky red light on him that's still blinking after Boba Fett is done. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying I think he's too big of a splash to just end it right there and then. So I think Cad Bane is going to be back. Star Wars Thrawn #1, the Francesco Mattina 1 in 50 variant from 2018. Man, this is. In a 9.8, this is now outselling Heir to the Empire #1, except for the newsstand. The Heir to the Empire newsstand is still a pricey book, but the direct stand.
In a 9.8, it's matching you Ultimate Fallout 4, man. Come on.
I know that's crazy, but but this is 1 in 50 to be fair. So it is lower, harder ratio to get. All right, so let's stay with modern books, man, and I can finally add one to the list. What do we got?
Well, we got another 1 in 50. How about Thor issue 1, the Esad Ribic 1 in 50, originally published in 2014. Now we're getting close to a Thor Love and Thunder trailer. And as we've seen lately, today's buying market is highly reactive to seeing is believing, with a character showing up in a trailer in all their glory. Now, Jane Foster's Thor is one of these upcoming characters that's been slow building for years, while the collecting market only focuses on her key issues and some of the more low-hanging fruit. While many of the variant covers for her first series are very affordable, this variant sure jumped this week with a $300 raw sale, which is quickly catching up to its all-time high sale of $511 for a 9.8 back in October of 2021. You got it? You're muted, TiVo. You got it?
Esad Ribic absolutely kills it with art. It's kind of painted almost watercolors. I have this entire Thor run, so I'm trying to remember in 2014 if I was pulling off variants like I am now. Like before, I was just like, oh, give me every issue that come. Just I'm pulling Thors, and if there was a 1 in 50 left, then I would buy it. So I could have swore I have this variant, but I got to look it up. But I have the entire Thor run because from Thor God of Thunder, this Thor run, the Jason Aaron run, it was some epic storytelling. One of my favorite runs. Even the Jane Foster storyline where she ends up dying. Spoiler alert in the comics, but she even died in an epic way where she threw Mjolnir into the sun, which is pretty epic, man. So Thor #1, the Esad Ribic 1 in 50, 2014 for $300 for a raw dog. All right, next up is look twice before you say you don't have it. You may have it, but either of them are probably going to be hard to find.
All right, so let's see here. Vampirella number 1, gold foil commemorative variant. This is limited to 500 copies. Harris Comics back in 2001. This commemorative book by Harris Comics from 2001 sold this week for $2,300 raw. Who is Harris Comics, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Harris Productions Comics was the company that acquired the rights to Vampirella following the bankruptcy of Warren Publishing. Warren Publishing produced horror mags, creepy and eerie, and in 1969 introduced Vampirella in her magazine. Vampirella was created by legendary Forrest J. Ackerman, famous Monsters of Filmland, and Trina Robbins, to be painted by the legendary Frank Frazetta. Vampirella was, of course, a space vampire from Draculon, a planet where water was blood. Unfortunately, the planet was crippled by a drought that eliminated the world's life-giving blood supply, and Vampirella came to Earth for her survival and for blood. Pretty cool, huh? Initially starring as a horror host of anthology books, think Tales from the Crypt or Volta Horror, but with stories introduced by a space vampire who was libacious. Vampirella would star in one story herself each issue. A cult favorite, the bad girl with a good, albeit black heart, experienced a turbulent publication history with various creators and publishers revising and reinterpreting Vampirella's character. But in 2001, Harris Comics released this issue, a gold foil commemorative edition of Vampy's first appearance, with a shockingly limited print run of only 500 copies. This was no mere reprint. This was the first time Vampirella's introductory appearance was reproduced in its entirety, replicating to the exact specifications as the original, from the original film used to print the original 1969 magazine. Each of the 500 copies included a certificate of authenticity. All of the affirmation explains the scarcity, desirability, and recent sell price of this book. And all this just because a girl needs a little blood and a little fun.
That's crazy. So Harris was already defunct long before 2001. I can't. What were they? I'm trying to remember Harris Comics in 2001. But I mean, to come out and just say, and this is a true reproduction of, I mean, magazine size, but it was gold foil commemorative, and 2001 was right around, I would say, before the death of comics, because in 2001 it was Marvel was really booming with when they started rebooting the titles with the Unlimited, or like the Ultimates. There was Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Spider-Man. Remember that? And it kind of gave a little jolt. And then right in mid 2000s is when the comic industry really kind of took another dive again. Prior to the boom of the 90s. But Vampirella, like we always talk about, artists love drawing Vampirella, and nobody did it better than Frank Frazetta and his fantasy art. I want this now, but I don't know if I can afford $2,300 for a raw of a gold. But gold, you had me at gold foil commemorative variant. You know what I'm saying? I meant from Harris, no doubt. So Vampirella number 1, the gold foil commemorative variant, only 500 copies printed on. 2,300 for a raw dog. I wonder what they would get that if they would slab it. So if you think that's rare, next up on the list is a book that most of you may have, but look closely.
All right, before we get to this last one, shout out to the chat. 124 people in the chat. If you're having a good time tonight and you're enjoying the content, please take a moment and hit that thumbs up. All right, the final book on our list tonight, we've got Wizard, issue number 1, The Newsstand. That's right. Originally published in 1991 from Wizard Entertainment. And we love Wizard magazine and recognize the trail they blaze for even us to exist today. We grew up with this magazine. Between this and Nintendo Power, there was nothing we loved getting in the mail more. Now, while Wizard no longer exists in print, nor do they track comic sales, this first issue has lived up to the cover's promise of becoming a collector's item. While the San Diego Comic-Con edition has a 9.8 FMV of $900, this rare newsstand edition shoved that price aside with a new high sale of $1,100 for a CGC 9.4. It wasn't even widely known that this even had a newsstand edition, but here it is, and it's now no longer available for $40 like it was selling for in April of 2021. This is one of those deep nostalgia books that's only going to go up. The standard cover is doing pretty amazing on its own as well, selling for a steady FMV of $120 raw. 0 for 10 tonight, folks.
Both Gabe and I can show our copies, but ours aren't newsstand. As soon as I saw this on the list, I was like, let me pull out. I have an 8.5 slabbed. But to me, I almost want to crack it because this one of the most exciting things to me as a collector in the 90s was going into my comic shop, but getting my books and then reading Wizard magazine, seeing what were the top 10 before any YouTube channel, before any website was doing top 10 lists. Wizard was doing a top 10 list, and that was really it was like just something you had to get, along with your pull, you had to get your Wizard magazine or your comic book resource thing, or that little free what was that new free newsletter that the comic book resources that they used to hand out. Matter of fact, I had one.
Oh, the newspaper, the comic shop news.
Yeah. They still make those.
Yeah, it's crazy.
My shop doesn't order them all the time, so one day they had them, so I just grabbed them, and they're free. Comic Shop News, man, has been around forever, and it was like a freebie, and you just grab that along with your Wizard #1. So Wizard #1, the newsstand variant. So don't go away yet, boys and girls. We're going to see what's shaking today to really get your offer going. So let me pull up and see what's going on here.
I love the Wizard. I agree with everybody in the chat talking about Wizard. This, like you were saying, Wizard molded the comic book industry at that time. That top 10 list was, people fought and were mad, and it was an industry-wide kind of experience. They would check that list every week or every month like we did. It was so important to the industry at the time.
Yeah, it almost reminds me of like what G4 TV used to be when they used to cover comic book news and stuff like that. Now they just do strictly games. But G4 TV back in the day, do you remember Blair Butler?
Yes.
On G4 TV, she used to do a segment that talked about comic books, and it was fantastic. This was in the mid 2000s on whatever channel G4 TV was on. Maybe it was his own channel or something like that.
It was his own channel, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, they had Attack of the Show. Obviously, Olivia Munn and a lot of famous other people came from it. But the relaunch of G4 TV, I was incredibly disappointed because there was no comic book coverage at all whatsoever, and I was kind of bummed out by it. But anyway, so rest in peace, G4 TV. So you never be back to what you used to be. All right, so let's see what's shaking today, boys and girls. This is the top 10 that we covered on Tuesday. You can see all that. These are the movers, the biggest units sold. You kind of see there's market. Of course, Spawn always shows up on there. But we're here to see what's shaking, boys and girls. And already looks like some weird books on here. I got two of them. I have this one. I have this in a raw somewhere. I got to find it. The Marvel, holy cow, 9.8 now are selling. Marvel Spotlight 28 are selling for $3,700 now.
I have a nice copy sitting at CGC right now waiting to get graded.
Oh,
I got a copy for sale.
I have two copies, and I need to find them as soon as I organize my long boxes, man. Because this is one of those books that you'd always find for cheap, and you're just like, everybody was getting Werewolf by Night 32. This is his first solo ongoing on Marvel Spotlight. I have a really bad copy of Werewolf by Night 32, but this one just looks like a cooler cover too than than if you're gonna get the second appearance. But anyway, Mephisto rules his ugly head yet again.
Still selling.
Silver Surfer. I have a 7.5, and a 7.5 just recently sold for $23,000. Hot damn! All right.
I think I got a 7.5 too. I'm gonna go check real fast.
Yeah, I think I have a 7.5 of this or an 8.0. Ooh, good lordy. So this book is, it's always been kind of pricey, but not $3,000 for a 7.5. Ooh, hot doggy. All right.
Mine's a 7.5 too, so I'm good.
Nice.
Here, this book, it's amazing. I have this in a 7.0 and a 3.5 just over $3,000.
Good
wow.
Lord.
Holy cow. Hey, we were just talking about this. Remember how we were talking about, artists are always copying something? Well, guess who that picture of this gal is? That is Louise Simonson. that they drew on there, I do believe. A famous cover by Bernie Wrightson. There is an homage for this from Dreamwalker, Second Skin Comics. Go to secondskincomics.com that Natalie Sanders did an homage to Dreamwalker #1 that you can get that the main character here, and then there's an evil dude behind her that could or could not be a character named TiVo. I cannot say or I cannot confirm nor deny that. This book was bound to pop. If you haven't heard, there's been more casting news for Kraven. Russell Crowe has been cast for Kraven. Now there's rumors saying that he's going to be the OG Kraven, because in the comics I believe he has children. He has a son and a daughter, something along those lines. There are maybe in an alternate universe, but there is a younger Kraven and an older Kraven. Maybe Russell Crowe is playing the older Kraven. Is it Russell Crowe? I'm trying to think. Let me look. Google.
Yeah, it was Russell Crowe.
Yeah, so that means he's in.
Yeah, isn't he in two things? Isn't he?
Yeah, he's plays Zeus in Thor: Love and Thunder as well.
I think he's gonna play a 60-second scene where he gets killed, probably.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. So yeah, so that's 2 in the MCU. So he's got to be covered up so you can't see who he is. I meant, am I right? Russell Crowe is gonna be in. I'm gonna think about it.
He's looking it up again. He's gonna double check it, man.
Yeah, I could have swore he was just cast in.
I didn't know there was a Zeus casting. That's interesting.
Yeah, he's gonna be Lauren in Thor: Love and Thunder, and they already said he was gonna be Zeus. So I could have swore he was gonna be in Kraven. Let me see if I read that.
Shout out to the chat who's hanging with us. What we're doing right now is we're going, and I check this every single day. Seriously, you go in here every day and you check out the Shakers list because it changes every single day.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, so it looks like Russell Crowe has been signed on for the new Kraven movie. Jason Aaron Taylor is also the titular character in that. So I don't know if he's going to be the older Kraven or younger Kraven, because Russell Crowe is also in the Thor: Love and Thunder movie. So that's interesting that he's in 2 Marvel movies as different characters. Here we go. I always love these kind of goofy books from the Bronze Age, Golden Age.
That cover is dope.
That is awesome. Look at the ray guns they used to have back in the day. That is so dope, man. This is Blue Bolt Adventures number 105 from 1950, 1780 for a raw comic, man. It's just any golden age book, man. Superhero
is that
crime
a good
books.
girl cover with, even though she's green? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, man. Look at her.
Right?
Let's see.
She got
I like that Griffin in the background too. That thing is cool.
Yeah, alien griffins. Here we were just talking about Usagi Yojimbo, man. Look at this. Usagi Yojimbo, issue number 1, Fantagraphics, the first Usagi Yojimbo in his own title. Graded 9.8, $1,700. That seems like a good deal to me.
Yeah,
actually.
look at that book.
I think that's probably a record. Is that a record for that? Slide down and see if that's the record high sale.
Yeah, no. Highest known graded is 2,800 from July 8, 2021. So I think that July 8, 2021 may have been when they announced that it was being developed, a new animated series. So there's cycles to buy and sell. We always talk about it, right? Buy when in between news. Look at this tech. Look at old Batman, dude. Look at the way they used to draw Batman. Detective Comics number 49 from 1941. It's amazing to me they were already up to 49 issues in 1941. At 3.5 you can get for $16.50. But look how dope that looks. And he's fighting some pirates. These golden age covers crack me up, man. Look at that. This book was all the rage for a minute there, man. First appearance of Batgirl. Raw Dog 1626 sold on February 9th. Highest known value. You ready for that? A 9.8 sold for $132,000. Holy smokes, Batman! Yes. Wow. I can't believe it's $132,000. But
that's crazy money.
That is crazy money. But crazy money's been spent. Oh man, do I still have my 9.6? At one point I had 2 9.6s of the Star Wars number 1. This is now a $1,300 book in a 9.6. Damn it. Oh, I'm so pissed that I got sold mine. But hey, I made up for it. I got some Fantastic Four. I got the, oh my God. Here. We can't do a Shaker Show without showing you some pre-code horror books.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is gnarly. You could put this on today's shelf and people would still be like, that's dope art. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it looks modern. And one of my favorite things right now is I love that date stamp that's across it too. That's so cool.
I also love actual font on covers where they say like, come into my coffin. The title, you rarely ever see that nowadays. Word bubbles or here, perfect example. Here's another one. If you look at this one, Fantastic Four, if this be Doomsday, right? And first appearance of Galactus, first appearance of Silver Surfer, even tells you the coming of Galactus, right? You rarely see that nowadays. Every now and then you will because it's carnageized or some crap like that, but that's pretty cool, man. This is one of my favorite X-Men books of all time. I still have a 9.6 of this. First appearance of the Phoenix, Raw Dog, $1,000.
Wow.
9.8, $13,000. At one point I had 3 copies of this, but I kept my 9.6. I do believe it's signed by Chris Claremont as well. So here's another. This is a very important book also, if you have it. Captain Marvel 28. Part of the whole Thanos storyline, $9.75 for Raw. I'm still, I would love to see them do Marvel proper, man, to bring him back, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen, to be honest with you. But
Tebow, Gabe, I want to ask your opinion. So this Darth Maul 2, the Cad Bane, we know what happened. I'm not going to go spoilers, but you guys have seen the show. We know that when somebody gets released, the book spikes, and then it comes back down. But it's still above where it was prior to the release. What do you think about? Do I still send this to CGC if I have it in my pile to go, or did I miss it?
You may have missed it, unless I would send it anyway because people still want it. Because I don't think he's gone. Put it that way. I'll just leave it at that. I think there's a cash cow there, and they're not, he's just like Boba Fett was brought back to life. I'm pretty sure there will. Giant size Hulk number 1, $700 and 9.8. Anybody know the significance of this? Is it just interesting? Inhumans attack Hulk. Now Hulk will smash. See, that's what I'm talking about. An annual collection of greatness and of the greatest foes. That's pretty dope.
Did you say 9.8 in that? Was that a 9.8 price you're given?
Yep. $700 for 9.8.
That's probably impossible to get a 9.8.
Yeah, square bound book.
Like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is one of my favorite titles of all time. The Defenders, the Bronze Age, just some really, really weird storylines, and one of the most powerful teams ever. You got Doctor Strange, Hulk, and Submariner. At one point, Silver Surfer joined, Valkyrie. I mean, there are some powerful characters on the best non-team ever, man.
It was the most overpowered team ever.
It was
Silver Surfer and Doctor Strange.
Yeah, once Silver Surfer joined, it was like, all right, really? Who? I mean,
Come on.
But Hulk was always a wild card. You didn't know what the fuck he was gonna do because he was like, Hulk smash. So it was like, but this run when I was a kid reading it, it was great because it was like they bring in characters like Gargoyle and Demon Slayer and and they would always tackle these kind of supernatural things. That's why the Defenders holds a special place in my heart. Not that shit on Netflix, but
Defenders on the list again. Look at that.
Yeah, but before that, we got to get weird with it. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
this
my
is
God.
Awesome. This is
awesome.
terrifying, dude.
This is scary.
Wow. So this is the point of view of you're in the furnace. This guy is feeding the furnace, and you're in there looking out the door of the furnace. That's sick.
You're getting burned. Weird Terror. They're 1953, $600 for a Raw Dog, $8,400 for 9.0. Who's the publisher? I don't even know. Comic Media? I don't even know. But that is that is a dope ass cover. The Usual Suspects. Hey, look, Hulk 180 is on the list. Another Defenders book. All right. Someone needs to tell me why this is on here.
Yeah, something's going on here.
Look at his team, though, dude. Look at his team. So we got the Hulk, Doctor Strange, Submariner, Valkyrie, Silver Surfer, and just to make things even, they said we'll throw in Hawkeye as well.
What's Hawkeye going to do in that team?
Exactly. $600 and a 9.6. If I could buy an entire run of that Defenders, I would do it, man. I absolutely.
You're gonna jump right over the Grand Inquisitor. That's the new hot spec right there.
Yeah, apparently he's been cast. So Darth Vader, first appearance of Grand Inquisitor, $625 and a 9.8.
It's gonna go up. When you see him, people are gonna freak out.
Star Wars has never moved the comic book market more so than it ever has now. Here's that Raw book we were talking about. What? Only $530 and a 9.8? Right? Yeah, first appearance of Maya Lopez.
Maya Lopez, she becomes Echo in 11. Yeah. That's what it is.
But this is a dope David Mack cover, though. I have this signed by David Mack, actually, in 9.8. Absolutely gorgeous. David Mack does get down on some really great covers.
The 5-book set that David Mack just did for Something Is Killing the Children is freaking awesome, man.
I own original David Mack artwork from his Daredevil run.
Oh, really?
I own a painting. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Awesome. Hey, special Marvel edition, always on there. This book has been floating around in this list for a while now, man. The CLEOM 5th print color bug variant. First appearance of Spider-Man, $4.39. There are tons of reprints of this, as you can tell. The Greg Land one, but now there are people you remember how they have different colors of the different variants. I also have two of the design variants here. Wow, fair market value, $102. I had no idea this design variant was going for that much.
I got two of those too. Just came back in, but they weren't
$379 for a 9.8.
9.4.
Yeah, just wait till Spider-Gwen shows up in live action, man. I remember this book. This was one of those quirky books that when it came out, remember Marvel Comics Presents, and it was like Wolverine. At one point, it was Marvel Comics Presents, and Cyclops was the main character. Nobody gave a shit. You know what I mean? It was Marvel Comics Presents, and there was one with Colossus, and there was some other guys that were at the start of the Weapon X storyline. $425 and 9.8. So
this is the run to get from Marvel Comics Presents, is that Barry Windsor Smith Weapon X storyline.
Do you know what it goes through? 72 through what? Is the Weapon X storyline. I don't know what it goes through, but every cover is fire.
And we'll look at it right here. We can scroll through it.
Yeah, scroll through. So 73. Look at this next one.
84.
Yeah, 74.
I just happen to have a pile of them here next to me.
You do have the whole pile next to you?
I have the whole. I have the whole set here. Yeah.
He looking real like Mephisto right here, kind of, huh? If you just take the claws back and be like a feral Mephisto. There you go. I just coined that feral Mephisto. You guys feel free to use that without any copyright infringement. I have this. I have to send this in actually to get graded. This is the first appearance of Red Sonja. Wow, $405 for a raw copy.
Wait a minute.
Maybe I should just sell it as is.
Slide back up. That's. Oh, so I get confused. I thought the next one was the next issue is.
No, this is her first cover appearance, but the first full appearance, her first appearance is in the other book. But you know, people prefer the other one because she's on the cover. But this is the first appearance of Red Sonja, so you know. But everybody gets the other book. But you know, I'm glad I got both. You know, Red. I think that's another thing. Hey, Batman: The Long Halloween. Haven't seen this in a while. Back when Jeff Loeb used to be a writer.
Love this run. I love Tim Sale and the art. Yeah, this is such a good run.
It's also a great animated movie. It's 2 parts. Have you ever seen it? It's really trippy. If you ever seen it, I think it's on Netflix. Oh, HBO Max. I'm sorry, I saw it on HBO Max. There's part 1 and 2. So here we go. Hey man, I've been touting this book for a long time now, man. This is the War of the Realms: New Agents of Atlas. This is the Gang Hyuk Lim 3rd print variant. Wow, I never seen this one. I had the other prints though. Reprints first appearance of Luna Snow, Wave, Crescent, Io, first appearance of Arrow. Look at that, $400 and 9.8. I didn't even know they went to a 3rd print, but look at all this is. I think I have this one at Jae Hung Lee. I have the other ones. I have this one, 2 of these, and I have the version of this one. This is the Miko Siyuan variant. This one is the hot one to get. I mean, if you look at it, graded 9.6, $500. Highest known value, 1,109.8. That's pretty good for a modern book. So there you go. Almost done, boys and girls. Got to get ghostly weird with it. Star Publications, The Night Monster. Look how small that font is. You can barely even read it. But this Ghost Weird Stories, 120 issues in 1953. 363 for raw. I have never seen this in my life.
And the Comics Code Authority started 54, right? So this is
right 55, right around there. I think so. Yeah, that's when they did the congressional hearings. So yeah. Oh, good to see this book on here, man.
Pieta cover.
One of the greatest story arcs ever, The Death of Phoenix. This one
another
right
heavily homaged cover too.
Yeah, I love this cover right here, man.
Yeah,
this is
great. I'm gonna win
one
that
of the
bike.
Yeah,
I
know. I always see that, and I don't know if anybody's ever won. If it was just a bait and switch. Look at this Amazing Spider-Man cover. This one's getting played lately. We were just talking about Gabriel Deodato, 1 in 25. It's for all the Spider people on the cover. First appearance of Spider-Punk, Hobart Hobie Brown. I'm telling you, he's gonna appear in
$300.
He's gonna appear in the next Into the Spider-Verse animated movie. Mark my words that they will be a Hobie Brown Spider-Punk. Get it now while you can, boys and girls. This is it's Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man issue number 10. That's a Delato cover, but this is probably the more prevalent.
That's
one.
the cover you're gonna see.
yeah, this is the regular one, but $31 for a raw comic, so $4.50 for 9.8. So snatch the regular one up if you can. I'm just saying, Hobart Brown, Spider-Punk, get him, get with it. Oh man, okay.
Whoa, wait. What's that? Ride number 3 when you get a chance to go back, but
sure.
That one, no, far left.
That's a weird one on here.
Yeah.
So ride number 3. Who is this the first appearance of? That is gnarly. It's like some giant fish dragon that Rai is fighting. There's some hardcore Valiant people that collect this. $332.
Ninjak or who? Yeah.
No, I don't think it's first Ninjak. That appears in another issue. But yeah,
this is heavily underprinted because a 309.8 for a Valiant 90s comic is really, that's a red flag. Something's going on.
Yeah, well, I tell you, market movers are behind the scenes doing things. I love this cover. Giant-sized creatures featuring Werewolf by Night. You got Tigra on there, the Werewoman. Then she was Tigra the cat.
Pain soldiers down
First
there,
appearance on Origin of Tigra. I thought it was another issue, but there you go. Giant-sized creatures #1. I could have swore it was another comic that this was the first appearance, but there you go. First appearance of Tiger, giant-sized creatures featuring Werewolf by Night. Great for Halloween comic covers. I'll tell you right now. I have this. It's one of my earliest, not one of my earliest Fantastic Four books, but it's an early team-up book, I do believe. I want to say it's the first appearance of Doctor Strange in Fantastic Four.
He's got his hands around her waist, and then it begins right there.
And look at Namor shorts; they're red. Isn't that weird? I think I got this because it was the first time that Doctor Strange appeared in the Fantastic Four. I'm trying to remember, but I
thought it was like his second appearance or something like that. Like a really early appearance of Doctor Strange.
One more. Look at this. Invincible. Darwin Cook, the great Darwin Cook.
Rest in peace.
I love how they crossed out probably, and it just says the best superhero comic book in the universe at the very top. First appearance of Thrag, $300 for a raw comic. Holy cow. So if you're specking on Thrag, good job. All right, that's it, boys and girls. Nice. So thanks for joining us, man. Go through, see what's shaking today, see what you guys with deep pockets are spending. Gabe, any last words?
Everybody, thanks for showing up. Great time here. Check me out, Gabe Loves 90s Comics on Instagram and Ninja Comics on Whatnot. Let's talk to everybody there.
All right, JB, any last words?
Yeah, thanks for joining us. If you had a good time, make sure you hit that thumbs up and check out the channel. I'm doing some CGC unboxings. I'm turning them into little 30-second shorts. I mean, come on, man. It's 30 freaking seconds.
Put that on TikTok.
Yeah, you can do that in a minute. Yeah, you can do it in a minute too. But 30 seconds. Apparently people will time out or something like that, right? So if you go on Whatnot, and you place if you place a bid under 10 seconds, it resets the timer again, right?
It adds 10 more seconds. It adds 10 more.
Yeah, it adds 10 more seconds. All right, boys and girls. We won't see you again till Tuesday because it's Super Bowl weekend, and I am not going live against the Super Bowl Sunday. Any YouTuber who does is just out of your mind. Just enjoy the game. If you don't like football, watch the commercials. But going live against Super Bowl is that's just a death kiss to have 10 viewers, and nobody wants to go. If you don't like football, watch Super Bowl for the commercials. That's what my girlfriend's going to do, or the halftime show with the West Coast representing Dr. Dre. So for Gabe's Loves 90 Comics and JB from Discovery Bay, this is TiVo saying keep digging in them long boxes, and peace out, boys and girls.
Now let's do this. Rewind, select and come again. Pull up that from the top to the very last. Jump.
Who are you to make their lives bitter in hard bondage? In this you shall know that the Lord is update. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do it. We're here. We're back. Let's do a job. You can't get fresher than this.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 5 great heroes. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
When it comes, I won't even notice. Oh, household. I'll be too busy looking good.
You can't understand.